современном мире женщина сама ищет свое признание и ставит перед собой любые задачи. Бесспорно, все они им по плечу.
In the modern world, women seek their recognition and set any tasks. All of them are certainly within the scope of their abilities. Indeed, females represent a combination of purposefulness, tenderness, care, love, and fortitude. This combination allows them to achieve all their goals. We will talk about female employees of Astana Zelenstroy utility company. Its task is to take care of the capital's greeneries. Moreover, the employees grow most of them on their own. And before creating such beauty, everything to the millimeter is drawn on paper.
Все идеи наносятся на лист и, получается, создаются
All ideas are put on the sheet and the process of implementing projects, which are already preparing for spring begins. Designers and architects work in the department. It's the team that creates all these urban projects. Initially, a sketch is made. In the department, during the discussion, we focus on every detail and drawing.
В отделе обязательно мы во время обсуждения начинаем, можно сказать, каждую деталь.
Eventually, something interesting comes out of the discussion. It is basically a creative process. It's clear that we are neither economists nor financiers who deal with exact numbers. The muse should visit us to create some kind of masterpiece. Thus, we need creative freedom.
Как ни экономисты, ни финансисты, четкие цифры у нас обязательно должна посетить какая-то муза, чтобы создать какой-то шедевр. Поэтому нам необходима такая творческая свобода. Нурлы-Жол – это водно-зеленый бульвар. Начинается от...
Nurlujol is the central boulevard which spans between the main square and Hunchatir. Previously, we used to plant annual flowers, creating floral patterns. However, this year we are planning to plant ornamental bushes on 40% of the area. Their main advantage is that they bloom during 14 to 21 days. In our design workshop, we're planning to create conditions whereby the planted areas will bloom non-stop. We're making certain arrangements for that.
Получается преимущество, что они цветут от 14 до 21 дня, но именно проектно-ландшафтной мастерской создаются...
Our flower garden is being created at the moment, and the city is going to bloom during the entire summertime.
И мы в проекте это все закладываем. Получается, цветник в целом создается и ежегодно весь летний и теплый период красочный и цветущий.
And it seems that the gardeners have no restrictions in this regard. Otherwise, how to explain that Astana is one of the flourishing cities of Kazakhstan, where flower beds with plants are full of bright colors?
Полностью выращиваем цветы для нашего города. Мы сейчас рассматриваем, что в межсезонье, что возможно и комнатные растения, возможно в межсезонье какие-то промежуточные варианты. Вырастить, например, луковичные растения можем. Это еще на стадии рассмотрения, но мы будем...
We grow flowers for our city. We're now considering the possibility of growing indoor plants in the off-season, perhaps some intermediate options.
Однолетние цветы, которые больше радуются.
But this is still under consideration. We still strive to increase production. I like annual flowers more. They delight with their brightness. Now we're trying to get away from the petunias, although it's the right flower for our region. Planting takes place in May, and it blooms until October of the first frost. But there is an alternative type of flowers, for instance, Catharanthus. It's possible to make decorative figures with it, that is flower bed patterns. It's bright with white, red, pink flowers and is very suitable for us. It is also less prone to diseases. We still don't have much of them, but I hope there will be more and more every year. Annual flowers are more beautiful. The perennials bloom for a short period, 1 to 2 weeks. Then there remains beautiful decorative foliage, while annual flowers delight the eye. For example, I have never seen such large flower bed designs as in our city. Astana is famous for this.
Как у нас в городе, я, например, ни за границей нигде не видела. Астана славится этим.
Постоянно смотрю на озеленение. Постоянно у меня, наверное, это сказывается издержки профессии, что ли.
I constantly look at landscaping. Perhaps it comes with a profession or something. I always look at it. When I walk around the city, even my relatives and friends say, "Can you walk and not look?" When I come to another city, I also pay attention to the flower beds, trees, squares, and landscaping. This can no longer be taken away. It happens spontaneously. Many ladies who work for more than 1 year just start talking to each flower. We have a lot of women who say, "Please grow up and bloom."
Просто разговаривать. У нас вот есть просто женщины, они приходят, пожалуйста, растите, пожалуйста, цветите. Кстати, очень много таких.
Создалась такая, можно сказать, командная аура, которая...
We have a team spirit. It's my second family. We spend a lot of time with our department, and I treat each of them in a friendly way.
Со своим отделом, и каждому из них...
Like a kindred spirit. Therefore, the team is small, however, its soul is big and boundless. Our department's only man is an architect, whom we cherish and care about.
Но, тем не менее, душа большая и широкая. У нас единственный мужчина в отделе.
Perhaps this job is more suitable for women. I don't want to differentiate. However, in general, the majority of job applicants are females.
Возможно, это такая более, наверное, нельзя как бы делить в целом, но тем не менее это, наверное, более женская, можно сказать, творческая работа, где в основном ко мне обращаются и приходят девушки.
Очень приятно смотреть, как растут наши труды. Мы садим, и потом уже вот, пожалуйста, вам.
It's very pleasant to see how the fruits of our work are growing. We plant them first, and here we are. Now they're so big. It's always spring and summer in our greenhouse.
И лето. Я когда поливаю, даже музыку включаю, мы вместе поем, разговариваем, чтобы...
When I water plants, I even turn on the music. We sing and talk together so that they sprout faster. In my opinion, all of our young ladies talk to plants. It probably comes from within. Love for everything that grows. You just have to love the plants so that they grow. That's all.
Радует все. Нравится очень. Надо любить растения, чтобы они росли, чтобы они развивались. Вот и все.
Да, любовь к растениям с детства была. Буквально определилась с этим уже лет в 5-7. Как-то именно...
I have had love for plants since childhood. I made a choice at the age of 5 to 7. As a child, I already imagined that I would work in a greenhouse. It was childish, wish, a joke. I worked with my grandmother in the garden. I planted and helped her. They laughed at me. This is what spurred me on. If you don't perceive a plant as a living organism, but as a physical body, you simply won't be able to grow it. By its appearance, you can understand what it needs to be watered, fed up, pinched, given backlight, or transplanted. This is very important, to treat it like living material for a person who works with flowers.
Поливать, подкармливать, прищипывать, давать досветку, подсветку, пересаживать. Просто относиться к нему как к живому материалу. Вот это очень важно прочувствовать самому человеку, который работает с цветами.
What are the main features of a person who could take care of flowers?
Любить цветы.
To love flowers, plants, and gardening, to fall in love with them, engage and enjoy the pleasure of having raised them, of their blooming, smelling, and growing.
Что он цветет, пахнет, радует, развивается. Только это.
комплексе постоянных людей 27 человек.
There are 27 people working in the garden. The majority of them are women. There are 10 men, and the remaining 17 people are females who are engaged with this beautiful work. We grow annual, perennial, and ground-covering plants.
Выращиваем однолетние, многолетние цветы и почвопокровные для нашего города.
Does having the majority of women affect the work?
Да, конечно. Потому что женские руки – это намного нежнее, намного проворнее, чем мужские.
Yes, women's hands are much more tender and agile than men's. Our men do more physical work. In addition to the fact that we have a manual transplanting, there is also machine one. Women's work is always held in high esteem.
Пикировка машины. У нас стоит пикировальная машина Делароса итальянская и посевная машина. Но вместе с женскими руками.
Let it remain so. Beautiful flowers are more for women, in my opinion. Trees and bushes are more suitable for men, as dealing with them requires masculine strength. Female contribution is different.
Цветы, растения, мне кажется, это больше для женщин. Для мужчин больше это древесно-кустарниковые, там, где нужна мужская сила, они больше подходят. А женское – это уже женское.
В основном ко мне приходят именно девушки.
In general, our employees are ladies who are young and creative. It's unfortunate we're always ready to recruit men as their contribution is required.
Now perhaps there is not a single area where women do not work on an equal basis with men. No one is surprised anymore, for example, to see female police officers and astronauts. Today, females are represented both in politics and business. These ladies are engaged in performing work without which our army would not be complete. We are talking about tailoring of personal protective equipment as well as tents for military personnel. The cutting process at any sewing enterprise is one of the most important stages. After all, the further work of sewing shops and the characteristics of the final product depend on how well, accurately and quickly the details of the cut will be made. This company employs highly qualified specialists. But despite this, they did not shy away from using automated equipment. After all, robotic technology reduces the cost for manufacturing of products and diminishes manual labor. Everything is provided there to ensure that the cut is perfect. The fabric seems to be wrapped on both sides. Paper is laid first, then the fabric itself, and everything is covered up with a special wrap. This creates pressure inside the table in order to press 20 layers of fabric as tight as possible. Then the cut will be as even as possible.
Наше собственное производство с помещением более 2000 квадратных метров.
Our own production facility with an area of more than 2,000 square meters is engaged in the production of sewn products such as tent products for 20 and 40 people for various purposes. We also sew military clothing for special purposes. The equipment includes body armor, unloading systems, backpacks, belts, and firefighter clothing. For civilians, there are knitwear, socks, and metal fittings products. We also make accessories such as chevrons, shoulder straps, emblems, and stripes.
Для военной одежды это шевроны, погоны, эмблемы, нашивки.
However, robotic technology is used only at the initial stage. Further, professionals start their work. The company's staff is relatively small, a little over 100 people, mostly women. Many of them have extended experience in the sewing business. And they do not intend to change their profession. And why, if everything suits them? So what makes the company attracting for their employees? We addressed several women. Eliza Turgunbayeva has been working at the enterprise for about 2 years. The lady said that before getting a job there, she had made research about the company. The most important thing for her was that the work was on a long-term basis.
Объем всегда большой. Почему мне эта фабрика нравится? Она одна, та фабрика, которая вообще не простаивает. Вокруг я знаю, вот по разговорам швей.
The scope of work is always large. I like this factory because it never stands idle. I know that many other factories are idle. I've never stayed without work here. The sewing machines are all new and they are very easy and comfortable to sew on. No effort is required. They automatically break the thread with the movement of the feet and begin to work with the movement of the feet. You don't need to do anything extra.
Обрывает нитку, движением ноги работает. Ничего лишнего делать не надо, очень удобно.
Lisa is involved in the manufacture of special protective equipment. She covers the elbow pads with a cloth. Subsequently, elbow pads will be sent to one of the military units. The job is easy at first glance. However, the ladies had to learn that skill for about a month. She came to the factory without experience in that area.
Я считаю, что это в основном женское дело.
I think that this is mainly women's business. Yes, we have men who also sew well, but women tend to stay longer here because it takes perseverance. Without men, we would not be able to work either. They also do a good job. Some men enjoy performing this job, but mostly women work here, as perseverance isn't needed.
Despite the seemingly good working conditions, the company is faced with a problem that exists throughout the industry. Clothing factories lack professionals. Therefore, many of them employ people without work experience who are taught on the job.
Но в процессе производства сталкиваемся с такими трудностями.
In the production process, we face such difficulties as shortage of qualified personnel. We spend more and more every year on recruitment, training, and retention of employees.
This is probably the main reason people apply for a job in that company. The enterprise regularly pays wages, annually encourages its employees with bonuses.
Өйткені бұл жұмыс менің өзімнің сүйікті жұмысым болғандықтан маған ешқандай ауыртпалық болмайды.
The work does not cause any difficulties. I like sewing. We start at 8 a.m. and finish at 5 p.m. The work schedule is very convenient. They pay well and on time. For me, as a mother of many children, this is the most important thing. Also, my husband's parents help, so I even have time to go to a beauty salon.
Әрине.
Saulia, like many factory employees, is self-taught. But looking at how the woman controls a sewing machine, you can't say this. Money, by the way, is not the only reason why she has chosen to work here. The craftswoman said she had come here to gain experience.
Өте жақсы, бастықтар өте жақсы, барлық.
The team and management are all good. Here we are provided with free meals and it's possible to spend a night here. I have sewed for myself for 4 years. At some point I realized that I needed to learn something new. I wanted to work in a team. Communication may not have been enough. Here I was taught to sew in a new way. Previously I only sewed stage costumes for children. Now I can make military uniforms. This is completely different and takes more responsibility. The main thing is not to let the management down.
This sewing factory was founded 15 years ago. Initially, it was created as a factory for sewing workwear. But a few years ago, the product line was expanded to include everyday wear items such as socks. This shop was created in 2016. Such machines sew up to 30,000 pairs per day, and everything would be fine, but the raw materials for the manufacture of hosiery are imported from abroad. They simply do not exist in Kazakhstan. This equipment, which manufactures socks and stockings, is the heart of the workshop. The main process, which is the sock knitting, is performed here. Each such machine sews one pair every 2 minutes. The average production of the shop is over 30,000 pairs per day. In a shift, it is about 10,000 pairs. Raw materials are brought from China, Uzbekistan and Turkey. Everything depends on the quality. For example, synthetic yarn is brought from China and cotton from Uzbekistan. There, raw materials are brought from leading manufacturers. Suppliers have certificates issued by enterprises whose raw materials have environmentally friendly qualities and do not harm the environment. Nevertheless, this did not prevent the enterprise from winning various competitions. In 2017, the company's product at the exhibition The Best Goods of Kazakhstan were recognized as the best for people.
Гордимся, конечно. Гордаем.
We are proud, of course, of what we do. When we see a product on TV, the spirit rises. People use our products.
Качествосы бар.
What is this if not people's recognition? The demand for products is growing and the order is made not only by military enterprises but also by civilians. One of the last mass orders was the production of tents. It takes 3 to 4 days to produce one tent. The work is not easy, as well as the materials from which the tents are sewn. The presence of such orders allows the company to develop and the production to expand. And this means a stable salary, comfortable working conditions and confidence in the future.
Hands get tired and go numb in the evening when I lie down. We have already forgotten about the manicure. Our nails are bad, like men's. Here we are constantly unfolding such ways that our hands and back get tired, but we have to work tirelessly and earn money. We as women always find time for ourselves. It's my 2nd year of work here. Thank God on holidays the management surprises us and gives us bonuses.
Бәрібір енді ауырлау не істеген бәрібір еңбек ету керек ақша табу керек